Tonight on Debate Amongst Friends, Nike launches its Just Do It campaign and the world went crazy. NFL news, including the Khalil Mack trade, Le'Veon Bell holdout, and Doc and Prof go over the power rankings, as well as WNBA playoffs underway and a wage gap on display, and so much more starting now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to Debate Amongst Friends, live on YouTube. I am your host with the most, the Professor John Gotti. And man, I don't know what was going on, but I was trying to find the beast. I couldn't find him for a little while. And I was like, I need to put him on a milk carton. Like, there he is. I am the advocate in the winner's corner of the reigning, defending, undisputed podcast champ of all time, Doc Lesnar. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. The 20th, the 20th world. Let's see what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to come up with something clever here for you because I don't know who you are, but I will say that you are the Professor John Guy, the king of RNG, the troll master, the data analyzing ninja, the 20th. No, I can't finish that punchline, but I'm doing good, sir. How about you?
Well, I don't know about you, sir, but I feel like I am the realest neutralizer in the room. Bada boom.
You are.
I figured I'll help you out this week. This week I'll help you out.
I don't know why I couldn't get that. It was like a tongue twister in my mind.
I mean, I don't know what's going on. I mean, you usually just mighty quick with it.
I think I was going with the 20th World Wonder, but I was like, no, that doesn't sound good. Let's just stop what you're saying. But I mean, you're the guy who catches data with his teeth. So it just made sense in my mind.
Ninja Plus.
Ninja Plus. Well, we got a lot to discuss here today, sir. I mean, you got holdouts, you got trades. I mean, NFL season is upon us tomorrow.
The NFL season is here. It's time for us to give our cheers and our reads and our predictions for you, the people out there.
That's what they want.
Doc and Prof every single Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Debate Amongst Friends.
That's what they want, and it's what they need.
Let's get started. But before we go into our reads, let's talk about the Salt Mountain, and I don't mean Space Mountain, y'all. In the world today, Colin Kaepernick, Nike, and the world is going up in flames, so to speak. And I only mean their shoes.
Which is so ridiculous, but I mean, hey, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. I mean, we posted it on our Debate Amongst Friends page yesterday, and I mean, when I saw it, initially I said, "Wow!" Like, first of all, it's a great ad. The commercial is fantastic.
Dare I say, phenomenal?
It's a perfect 10.
Wow.
It's a perfect 10.
It sounds like it was quite glorious.
It really was. Like,
it could be the most electrifying commercial in all of marketing?
I mean,
Can you say that other commercials might need to rest in peace?
We're talking about I need Nike to feed me more.
I mean, after that commercial, a lot of people believe that.
And I'm just like, who's next? You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
I mean, Nike just dropping down boots, telling people to burn it down.
And I think Nike just became the big dog.
Oh, Nike just made a lot of people famous.
That's right. It's true. Put a lot of people on the proverbial tilt. But I do believe that, I mean, just seeing it, it just makes me smile. And I hate the narrative that people are out there burning shoes. What do you think about when people burn stuff? I posted earlier that I don't get it. I think I posted yesterday. I didn't get it. I never got it.
Well,
when anything's burned.
One thing I can tell you right now, I have yet to see someone burn a fresh pair of Forces.
This is true.
So let's just get that part out. I'm gonna talk about the elephant in the room right now. We have not seen any brand new, fresh sneakers being burnt. They are not that stupid. Let's just stop it right now.
There was a comedian who stated, he's like, Nike is not worried about those people who burn their shoes.
No.
He said, where those people shop? And these are the stores that you have to worry about. Ross, he said Marshalls.
Yep. He's
like, those are the stores that you're gonna have to worry about.
Walmart.
That's where those people shop.
Yep. I'm just saying, like, come on. Like, let me see someone from the inner city burn their brand new, fresh, out of the box Jordans. Let's see that happen.
I agree. I get it. And then somebody said, well, I'm just gonna wear my Converses. I never liked Nike anyway.
Wait, I know what you're talking about too. And did you see Shannon Sharp's response to that? It was gloriously hilarious.
It was
excellent.
He said, Nike owns Converse, so. But continue your argument. I mean, how rough? How rough? How rough is that?
That was a Bugs Bunny kiss to the lips right there. Like, he just grabbed a shovel and did what the man with 3 H's do.
And you know what will happen next? The irony that would happen next, Nike would go ahead and probably buy some of these other shoe companies and monopolize the whole industry. But, I mean, in regards to the protests, I mean, they're pretty stupid. Burning anything is pretty stupid unless you're burning a match or lighting a barbecue. It's pretty stupid.
Or it's a bonfire. Like, come on.
Right. Yeah, I'm okay with that. A little fire pit never hurt anybody. But when it's a fire pit of products, it's kind of
like, I just feel like that people just want to burn things just to burn things, just like how we, mention a lot, and even the Duke It Out crew agree that at certain aspects of it is people just want to protest just for the sake of protesting.
Agree.
Because it's the end thing now. That's the part that's cool now.
Right.
Like I know someone who's basically renegade for life, who is going to protest a cause, but that's the thing though. She's protesting a cause.
Right. Not just something made up.
And she has information about said cause. So when people try to argue with her and have an intelligent argument with this very person, she could come back with facts and not just regurgitate things that you read on Fox News or read off of someone's Twitter account. She has cold, hard facts. And I feel like a lot of people in this protest do not have cold, hard facts.
They skip it and they start making things up. For example, Pat Tillman came out of nowhere. Like, oh, Pat Tillman should have been, and it's like, why? I mean, don't get me wrong. And I posted on LinkedIn. Listen. I understand, and this is in no disrespect to a man losing his life, but when you go to war, death is a part of war. And we were in a hard time. But the thing is, and it stinks that he was, untimely and unfortunately killed by friendly fire. That made it worse. Mm-hmm. But it's like he chose to go to the military during a high war period.
Yes.
So there was a high chance, like, hey, listen, this might happen. Colin Kaepernick took a knee for individuals who in a country aren't being treated fairly.
Nope.
They're being beat, they're being killed, and the justice system is not helping them out. So my thing is, it's like, how are you? People are now judging people's sacrifices. You know what I mean? Like, how low do you have to be to judge a person's sacrifice? Like, hey, he sacrificed his job, but he's still getting paid millions. That's not really a sacrifice. He didn't know he was going to get paid.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like, he didn't know he was going to get paid to do any of this, but he did. And it's like, give the guy a break here.
Well, and speaking of the harshness of the internet justice system of the world, the IJS, this commercial came on the heels of Colin Kaepernick signing with Nike, and that is after he basically refused the contracts of two other sport athletic apparel companies, and that's something that people are now throwing into his face. So it's kind of weird. Like, and for me, and this is still more of a duke it out thing, because I'm not going to try to get too political, but it seems to me that there's always going to be something that people are going to be upset about. Like, you can't make everyone happy, but at the same time, everyone's not going to be happy from Jump Street.
But we don't know the details of those other contracts. I mean, for what we know,
and that's the problem. Like, all people see is just that one little thing, and they just go onto tangents and tangents and tangents about it. And that's that's the part that we was talking about, and even I was talking about with the Duke It Out crew, was people don't have facts, and they're only regurgitating what the media is telling them. Like, everyone has their phones. Everyone could go into Google.
This is true.
And get more facts about the situation.
This is true.
I mean, people want to take, 18 seconds of audio clips and proceed to basically, socially crucify the person and drag that person's name across the mud for saying that, they prefer someone when they were still in developmental.
This is true. I mean, one thing I would say is that we really don't know what the deal is. I know based on the reports that I read earlier, that Nike did go ahead and not only pay him the money, but also sponsored and paid into his, not his endorsements, but his what's the word I'm looking
philanthropy
for here?
Efforts?
Yeah, his philanthropy efforts. Like some of those things that he wanted to do, it's not just about getting the money. He needs money. Like, I mean, he's giving out a lot of money. Like,
yes.
I think I was looking online earlier, and I think between 2016 and 2017, he might have participated in about maybe 15 to 20 different endeavors, and each one he's popping out about $20,000 to $25,000 per donation. So, I mean, you're talking about doing that all while you're unemployed. I mean, I'd say why not? He's already lost his job. Now, the good thing is that the NFL is, they lost the blackballing collusion case, so he'll probably get paid for that as well. And then
wait,
Nike
did that one go final yet? All I know is the arbitrator allowed him to continue the trial.
No, I think that case is over from what I remember.
I didn't see anything about. All I know was the arbitrator allowed the case to continue, and it's going to go to the next stages. I didn't see anything about any settlements or any final decisions with that case at all.
I have to go ahead and look back into that. I just want to say it was over, but you could be definitely right. If they say it's going to go on, though, that means they collected enough evidence to show that it's something that the NFL potentially did do. So I would expect that, if they did find something, I wouldn't be surprised if they do try to settle it just to kind of get it out of there. But
it's so interesting, though, and I'm sorry I interrupted you, but like, it's so interesting. A few other facts that I just remembered. So Nike and the NFL has a working relationship with each other. So that's the biggest irony of this whole thing.
That is ironic, very ironic.
Like, just take the Kaepernick situation off the table real quick. Like Nike and NFL, they're like this. Like they're pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
And now you don't back in the Colin Kaepernick situation. It's like, you're
like
still making me money,
to
but you're also representing something that we're against.
Right. Exactly. So now I guess Reebok's going to have a come up, or Under Armour. That's what I've been looking at, Under Armour and Reebok stock all day, just to make sure it doesn't do anything crazy. But I don't see.
Well, and Nike stock didn't have like a steep decline though. And
somebody mentioned 3%, and I said, "Why don't you stop it? 3% isn't a major driver." And I think they're back up.
I don't even think it was 3%. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that was at the very, very beginning of the day.
Like, yeah, it was something ridiculous.
And the worst part is, folks, I don't even need to look at the stocks to know exactly how it's trending. I already know these things.
It was pretty ridiculous. I could tell you, I look at these stocks every single day, and I was looking at it because I was like, let me check it out. People start
saying stuff like that, and then when you look at it, it's not what it is.
Yeah.
Like they over exaggerate it. What happened?
It's actually up 4%. So
and how far did it drop?
It's at $80 still, which it was 70. It was like $79 and maybe 70 something cents yesterday. I think I took a picture of it just to make sure that I wasn't tripping. Let me go to let me go to my gallery right now so I can tell you exactly what it was.
Like,
let's see.
I can literally find this stuff out right now, ladies and gentlemen. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, a big hit to stocks, we're talking like $15 to $25 per share. That's a big drop.
Now, I use Robinhood every day, and I think what I screenshotted was the actually sell, buy, hold thing.
Are you gonna plug them so they can pay us?
Oh, I should. Robinhood. I mean, we're already talking about Nike. I mean, we don't plug them all. But I mean,
but Nike's not going to pay us.
They should. But I mean, 57% buy still. People are still buying. 38% of people are holding onto the stock, and only 5% of people are actually selling it. So, I mean, to me, it's like, 5% of people. That's we're talking about $80 a share. I mean, you sell it now, even if it did drop. I mean, it's probably going to boom after this latest thing because, I mean,
it didn't go past $79 in the past 5 days.
It was really, really like a couple of cents.
Like, ladies and gentlemen, let's pump the brakes. Let's not act like Nike is about to, file Chapter 13 liquidation, bankruptcy over here. Like, it's just not going to happen. Relax.
Not at all.
Like, and all this is, I just want to, have a story. I just want people to talk about it. I want to help control the narrative. Like, my name is Lebanon James. Like, that's all this is. That's all this is. But speaking of Mr. James, he is a huge supporter of Colin Kaepernick post the Nike ad being produced because he was actually in there along with Serena Williams. Now, we always say that LeBron James is the smartest business person in sports. This is one of those examples of him being the smartest businessman in sports.
I'm going to mention something after you finish.
Oh, no, I'm finished because I was going to go into, it doesn't also help out that, Nike and LeBron James are also like this.
Absolutely. So I got a chance, and I should have said this for a final thought, but I think this is a good chance. I got a chance to watch The Shop on HBO. I don't know if any you got a chance to see it. Look, I'm just dropping brands today.
I don't know, man. I think you should be on, get on Instagram, or as the Dutchess like to say, get on the gram and start, plugging these things on Debate Amongst Friends Instagram account at Debate Amongst Friends.
I'm gonna have to because I was watching The Shop, and I know the Undisputed Crew talked last week, but we didn't get a chance to really talk about it. And him, you had Snoop, you had Odell Beckham Jr. It was interesting to see Draymond Green was there. Now I would have loved to have seen Colin Kaepernick in this setting. Like, it would have been so perfect If LeBron James would have had Colin Kaepernick on the shop,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what would have happened. But I would have loved it even more. I thought it was really good. LeBron James was out here cursing left and right. It was so free. I mean, because it's supposed to represent barbershop talk. And I just wish that Colin Kaepernick was there. But I say all that to mention, him being him being the
business tycoon that he is right now.
He's a beast. Him and his partner Maverick Carter. I give them credit. I was sitting there and I was kind of admiring him a little bit. Not becoming a LeBron maniac, but more. I don't really care about LeBron the basketball player, but LeBron the businessman.
Okay, I'm so glad you say that. So let's talk about the other elephant in the debate amongst friends. Infosphere, so to speak. We do not hate LeBron James, the individual or
player. We don't. I don't think we hate him, the player. I don't like his style personally.
That's what it is, and that's the thing that we keep trying to say. But like people on the gram, on Facebook, on Twitter, like they get on Doc and Prof about this. They get on it. They keep saying that we're too much. We act like baby boomers in the basketball world because we support Jordan because we think that he's the best player ever.
Can I say that I think the troll got trolled earlier.
Yeah.
Because I was saying that it was a post in this new group that we're part of, which I'm thinking about leaving.
Which is funny because the person actually stole the post that I put on the Debate Amongst Friends group page, facebook.com/group/Debate Amongst Friends.
A while ago. Was this about Kareem? And did you read it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I was like, and then he friend requested me, and I'm just like, bro, like I should not accept this, but I want to entertain this. And
I think he actually added me as a friend too. I know who you're talking about.
And I'm like, bro, like we're all saying Kareem. We're not saying 3-point shots. We're not saying anything, but we're saying Kareem is the greatest scorer. And my argument has always been never going to change. Kareem, when in the development of his game, they took away one of his prime scoring techniques, and he had to redevelop himself mid-season, and developed a sky hook. They said, "Boy, you can't." They said, "You can't dunk no more. We're outlawing it. Get it out of here."
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it was specifically just him, but I see what
it wasn't. But it might as well have been just him because he was the only person he was a dominant force. And then, but that's neither here nor there. We don't hate LeBron.
Nope.
And that's all we got to say about that. We don't hate LeBron. As a businessman, I think LeBron is great. I think what he does is fantastic. I wish I was where he is at the age of 33 now. I just turned 33. I wish I was even close to where he is. And we may be close to in business acumen, but I wish I was close to him in finances, of course.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
We don't hate him for being the businessman that he is, as the person he is. Like, he's a great role model out there. With the new school, even though there's some great stuff happening with there, but we're not. That's also Duke It Out territory. We're not going to talk about that because the Madam Duchess had so much to say.
Is Duke It Out coming back this week?
I mean,
you mentioned it a few times now. You're teasing us.
I can't confirm or deny anything. I mean, there's supposed to be a board meeting. I mean, the big wigs up top, the people that pay our paychecks out there. I gotta give them a little wink right there, so they make sure to give me that little bit of bonus. But that's besides the point.
I mean, Skip, you keep talking. You keep cooking my grits, Skip.
Keep cooking my grits, Skip.
Oh God, but you keep talking about it. That's what I ask.
But these are things that the Duke It Out crew has talked to you about off their podcast, and I'm like, these are great things for y'all to talk about. Like you're saying a lot of things, but the people need to hear it, not just the Professor John Gotti.
And I guess it doesn't have to be too long, even if it's just a 30-minute, 20-30-minute show. I mean, you had so much stuff. I was expecting a show after the, some of the award shows. Like, I mean, they got a lot to catch up on, but I mean, hey, I know we'll see them when we see them, and I look forward to seeing it.
I mean, they got to come back from the pilgrimage. They're just traveling the world, shaking hands, kissing babies. You know, laying people out with those B dorms.
Hey, that's the way to do it. But we should probably move on and get into this NFL. It looks like we got quite a bit of NFL stuff to talk about.
Yes.
Let's talk about this. Let's start with this trade, though.
I mean, before that, though, I mean, the NFL season is back. It starts tomorrow. Is tomorrow a ball night?
It is. I mean, you know.
To quote Tony Reali, ball night.
I feel like, I don't know if tomorrow is going to be a good game or not, though. I mean, it's two teams that may or may not be in the playoffs this year, depending. Hopefully, my Bucks replace one of them. But the Falcons versus the Eagles. Obviously, the Super Bowl champs.
The reigning, defending, undisputed NFL Super Bowl champion of the world, the Philadelphia Eagles. See,
now, I wonder. That was great. I wonder if Nick Foles will still have that magic. You know, he kind of got exposed in Hard Knocks. Michael Kendricks, who also had some issues. He had some issues during Hard Knocks. Excuse me there. I think Chris pulled my plug there for a second. But Michael Kendricks on Hard Knocks kind of talked about Nick Foles and how he didn't really like to get hit, but also talked about the starting left tackle of the Eagles, saying that if you got into his chest, he didn't trust his feet enough. So basically, you would be able to kind of skim past them either with a bull rush or even maybe a quick move inside or whatever. So, I mean, I'm wondering how many people saw that. And that's the one thing about being on Hard Knocks is that you learn stuff about the subject, but you also learn a little bit more about the guys you're playing against. Unfortunately, Michael Kendricks got arrested for inside trading, which I'm not a whole 100% sure what inside trading is, but I just know it's a federal offense and he got cut. But
it's basically on par with what happened with Martha Stewart.
Gotcha.
Martha
went to jail big time.
Yeah, Martha went to jail big time. In fact, Martha Stewart actually was in Jersey City not too long ago at her childhood home. There's a little Gotti fact for y'all, ladies and gentlemen.
And you know, people don't really mess with Martha like they used to.
Jersey City represent.
I know. I didn't want to go there. You know that we're from the same place as Martha.
Hey,
she reminds me of somebody that might be on the edge of Jersey City, like maybe more closer to Bayonne.
I believe she is not close to Bayonne. I believe it's near Hoboken.
Oh, so that
might be wrong.
It probably is Hoboken.
I'm gonna find that out. I'm gonna find that out right now.
Find it out, man. But I mean, you got the Falcons, you got the Eagles tomorrow. We finally got football back. I know a lot of people have been pretty excited about it. So hopefully it's a good game. It's not something that's gonna be boring or a snooze fest. But I mean, if we had to go and give a prediction, I would say I expect the Falcons to win the game.
I'm going to be devil's advocate, and I'm going to think that the hype, bro, from the crowd is going to fly to victory.
I just don't know if Nick Foles is going to be able to carry that magic over that he had last year.
I said nothing about Nick Foles' magic.
I mean, that's the only magic that they have because he's starting quarterback.
I think it's going to be more the defense. Like, and when I say that the crowd's going to allow them to become electrified, I think it's going to be more or less because of the defense.
Gotcha. And they also lost Michael Kendricks, so I don't know. I just don't know how it's going to be. I'm interested to see, but they did pick up some good pieces, so I'm definitely interested to see how it's going to go. Mm-hmm. I mean, just looking at it now, what did you think about the power rankings?
I'm so glad we decided to talk about that.
Because the Eagles are number one. So, I mean.
I feel like it's only fair that the Eagles be number one because they're the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions. Like, I feel like it'd be a slap in the face if they wasn't number one. kind of unlike how it is with like college basketball, because Duke always end up being number one, but then they.
That's right. Well, just stop right there.
Woo!
Yes, there. Don't you dare
Woo!
Duke should be number one. And that's all you got to say about
and they
that.
usually end the season
in the championship.
in the top 5 before the big dance.
That's okay. This year is going to be different. But let me ask you a question. Just looking at this here, how do you feel about the AFC team? Only one AFC team being in the top 5. I'm looking at the NFL.com.
I'm actually okay with that, because I feel like the Vikings is definitely going to show out. They're going to get their running back returning this season after he went down with an injury last year. The Saints, I don't know. I mean, they're not going to have Mark Ingram. Maybe. I mean, they're still going to need to fling the ball a little bit more, but I don't know what's going to happen there. But the Rams at number 2.
I can understand that.
That one I can understand. But if I had to take a team out of that top 5 from the NFC, I would say the Saints. And it's not even because of the play, the miracle in Minneapolis. I'm not even talking about that. But that 1-2 punch of Kamara and Ingram was so dynamic for that offense last season.
Agreed.
Along with that young secondary. Like, it's going to be hard to see them double up on that. The Vikings, they're always going to be great, but, I mean, the defense is amazing. Now we got to see what their new quarterback is going to do.
That's what I was thinking about. I mean, because I thought their quarterback play was great last year, but now you bring in Kirk Cousins.
Exactly. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. So that's
I don't know what's going
to
happen.
I'm okay with them at 4 because we don't know what's going to happen, but they still have a pretty good amount of those pieces still. It's just really that quarterback situation is the real big question mark for me. I mean, Pats number 5, whatever. I don't care about the Pats.
I mean, they're the best team in the AFC. That's the only reason I mean, I just shocked that they weren't number 2 or 3, but they're number 5.
Well, since you say that, the people they're doing that thing in my ear that they're saying, Doc, we need a top 5 dead or alive, and that's just off one LP. Top 5 power ranking for your teams heading into the season.
I mean, I would keep it the same, and I think I would do something similar to what you did. I probably would just replace the Patriots and the Saints, just swap them. That's it. I mean, I like the Rams. I think the Rams are going to be good. The Rams are going to be as good as Jared Goff takes them.
Yes. And their defense, who they just signed Aaron Donald for a huge contract.
But I believe that the defense is going to be there. I think this is going to all fall on Jared Goff. I mean, if he can't get it done, just forget it. It doesn't matter how many people you got on defense.
And what is this, year 3 for him now?
Yes. I mean, the first year under Jeff Fisher, I don't know if we're counting that.
We kind of have to.
We do. It's unfortunate. But
I mean, let's just put an asterisk next to it, just like how, Walt Clyde Frazier did on KD. Ooh, shots fired. And I love Clyde, too, and I still said that line.
Hey, he got to do what he got to do. But yeah, that's what I would do.
I'll agree with you. I'll put the Patriots at number 3, but I will take the Saints away, and I'll put the Steelers in there instead.
Now, the Steelers are going to come up in a later story, and the only reason I would leave them at 7 is because of Le'Veon Bell. And that's one of the other topics where, he's still holding out. It's weird, and he's causing a rift between the players. Now he's starting to hurt the overall player morale. And it's like, you got this running back. He's one of the best players on your team.
A generational talent.
He is generational talent. I agree. And now you have your offensive lineman saying, come on, bro, are you going to play or not play? He might get do that in the rain.
I see what you did there.
I'm just saying. But
I mean, I feel his plight. He wants to get paid. I mean, he was the top rusher for his team and the second top, the number 2 receiver on the team last year as well too. Like, you're asking him to do so much, you know. And since you like to quote football movies, I mean,
hey,
what, I'm supposed to go out there, break my back for the team? For
what team?
For what team? No. I'm gonna get mine.
I would see a bunch of high-paid guys out here paying $1 million. Let's just stop right there.
Yeah.
It's a family show. But it's true. Steaming Willie Beeman. I mean, that's what he's looking at right now. And without the commercial, without the Metrex commercial, and flex your chest with Metrex. Without that, steaming Le'Veon Bell.
But you get what I'm saying, though. Like, he's gonna come back, and they're gonna expect him to take. So basically, he's what, 75, maybe even like 90% of the offense, and maybe 90% is too high. Maybe 85 might be the big cap.
I mean, but he's getting almost $15 million.
But should he be getting more than 15?
I mean,
just based off of his production alone, him on the field brings so much chaos. And we love chaos. You being a big football person, played the sport before. You love to have that one guy that will disrupt that defense.
Right.
Because you know that DC needs to put that spotlight on that one player, because you know if he gets it over the top,
it's all over. So $15 million. Let's look at it, and just to make sure, currently, based on what I'm showing, this is based on Forbes. I'm looking at Forbes. Let me go to Sport Track just to make sure.
Yep.
He and Ty Gurley just got a raise.
Yep. Even
with his raise, Le'Veon Bell's still making more than him. Le'Veon Bell's still the number 1 paid running back. Still.
And that's with the franchise tag.
And that's what the franchise tag. So it's like, I get it. You know, you want to get paid, but you're even with that franchise tag. And think about it, the franchise tag is supposed to be the average. You know what I mean? The average of the best players. He's getting $14.5 million.
I mean,
but I understand. You want the long-term
we always
deal.
say it though, man. Like, sports business is a monopoly.
It is.
You know, to quote one of my favorite movies, greed sometimes is good.
I agree. And for a running back who's about to be, 27 years old, he turns 27 in February. So, this could be one of his last big contracts, depending on how it goes.
And that's the thing, though. Like, that's pretty much what it is, because we know that a running back has a really small shelf life.
Absolutely. He probably got about 5 years left, before those knees start to catch up. But I think the good thing about him is that his running style complements how he's taking care of his body. I mean, he's not really a hard runner.
Nope.
He's really a finesse runner.
He's very Barry Sanders.
I wouldn't go that far. I think he's. Yeah, I wouldn't say Barry. I think Barry is one of those guys that, like, I mean, his cuts were ridiculous. But Le'Veon, it would almost be, I'll question whether he actually ever plants his foot and actually, like, he does a lot of dances. It's like a ballerina out there.
Yeah. But that's why we say that he's a generational talent, because it's hard to find another running back to compare him with. Like, he sets the trend for this generation, just like how AP sets the trend for his generation. It's just one of those things. And that's something that I feel like people just need to accept. Like, he's basically getting the Kirk Cousins treatment when it comes to his contract.
Kirk Cousins.
And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to say that Le'Veon Bell that Kirk Cousins is the same talent as Lee. I'm not saying that. I'm saying contract-wise, because Kirk Cousins should have gotten a contract from the Redskins, and we both said this on the show, and he never did. And he got, 4 franchise tags in a row. He's like, screw this.
I don't know why they.
I'm going to take my ball, and I'm going to take my talent up to Minnesota.
I can't tell you why they did that to Kirk, though. That never made sense. I can tell you that for Le'Veon, I mean, it's his attitude. Obviously, he got in trouble with LeGarrette Blount a couple years ago. I mean, he's the highest paid running back. Steelers aren't really a team that's going to go out and spend a huge amount of money on really anybody. I mean, obviously, they pay Antonio Brown because he's another, generational talent. And, he's somebody that, Big Ben trusts. And I think whoever the next quarterback is, they'll be able to get that to go through them. But Le'Veon, man, I mean, I don't know. He's already the highest paid running back. They're probably looking at it like, listen, we're going to let this play out. If he wants to go somewhere else and do that, then that might be something that they might just cut their losses. But if he wants to get traded to Tampa, I mean, I'll be open to it.
I knew he was going to say it. I was like, he's going to say Tampa too. I was like, he's going to say Tampa too. I'm literally just thinking in my head. I'm like, maybe about 15 seconds before he said that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm like, he's going to say Tampa.
But I don't know if he would be good with Tampa either because, I mean, like I said, I mean, his running style is so interesting. It's like, I don't know if he would be good with any other team besides Pittsburgh. And maybe they know that, you know what I mean? But I mean, back to the power rankings, though. I don't want to talk about Le'Veon the whole time, but I would say that I'm pretty surprised.
And Pittsburgh actually has the highest spending when it comes to their running backs in the league.
Right, because they salary tagged him.
Yep.
I mean, if they tagged him the last 2 years, yeah, definitely.
And for reference, sir, Tampa Bay's number 23.
We don't have anybody. We don't pay anybody right now. I don't know who's getting paid at this point. Mike Evans got extension. He's lucky to get that extension. Because I'm so used to us letting people go. Think about it. The last person we gave an extension to was Doug Martin, and even Doug Martin only made $6 million. So you think about that. Le'Veon makes $14.5 million. Doug had $6 million, and Saquon Barkley has $7 to $8 million coming out of college right now. So, I mean, he just has to just think about it. I mean, I'm sure he'll be the highest paid running back, but he needs to just go ahead and report to camp, report to the game, report wherever they're asking him to report to, and just go get paid, go get his money, because this could be his opportunity to either showcase his skill for the next team or increase his value for whatever, you know.
And also for reference, sir, your top paid running back on your team, Jaquiz Rodgers.
Probably what, 2-point-something million?
1.6.
1.6. Peyton Barber under $1 million. We just drafted Ronald Jones.
Yep.
I think we got what's his name? Sean Wilson, probably minimum. Yeah, we ain't paying nobody no money.
For the part is, you got the rankings completely correct too.
Of course I did. I know that team inside and out.
But you just say you didn't know who was the top paid.
I mean, I knew who the top. Honestly, I thought for some reason that this year Peyton Barber's salary would went up just a little bit. I mean, he might be close, if not close to $1 million. He might be 800,000-900,000. But I wasn't sure how much Jaquiz Rodgers made. But 1.6 sounds about right. Yeah. But this power ranking, though, the one thing that confuses me is, and you just let me know how you feel about it, the Chargers being at number 10.
I don't understand.
I'm trying to figure that out.
Like, I don't get it. Like,
I don't know anything. I don't know. Like the Panthers being number 11, Texas being 12, Titans being 13. All makes sense. Even the Giants being 14. Everything
I feel like the Texans and the Chargers should switch because I feel like the Texans going to be better this year. Because they're going to have Deshaun Watson back healthy. Because it looked promising for them last year.
I would say
we're talking about a rookie that took Tom Brady to the brink for a regular season game.
Yeah. I think they'll be really, really good. I think 12 is too low. Chargers need to be down here somewhere with the. What team would I replace them with? I don't even know. Oh, God, that's so terrible.
Your Bucks?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I don't think that.
Tell me what you think about your Bucks being 28. Like,
you know what?
I mean, they're obviously not top ranked like your Dukies, but I know you feel a certain type of way about it.
I'm very happy with us being 28, and I'm gonna tell you why. The only reason I'm happy with us being 28 is typically there is a buzzing about sleeper teams. I don't think the Browns are going to be as bad as number 30. The Bills and the Colts, I don't know. The Bills just announced that Nathan Peterman was going to be the starting quarterback, so
which is why they're number 31.
Yeah, I can understand that. But the Bucks, the Seahawks being number 27. I just don't think all these teams are going to be down here like this. And I'm actually okay with the Bucks being 28 because I know we have some injuries. Obviously, they think Jameis Winston's his suspension is going to bury us to be 0-3. We're going to lose.
No, a lot of analysts are saying that the Bucks going to start off 2-1.
So that's what I'm saying. So if we're going to start off 2-1, how would we be down at 28? This is a mockery.
Because they're literally saying that you're going to lose the next 13 games.
And that's where it gets to be ridiculous. And I don't believe that. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
I love it.
How can I take this? How can I take this seriously? The Seahawks are one rank above the Bucks. I know they're starting over, but I just don't believe that. Even just because they got rid of all those players, that they're going to be that bad. And then if we're going to be that bad, how can the Cowboys be at 22?
Thank you.
They lost.
I was hoping you would say that.
2 or 3 of their starting linemen. They lose Dez. You got who they got running wide receiver. What's that little guy's name?
Oh,
what's that little
Tavon
guy's
Austin.
name? No, not that guy. And they talking about running him potentially at running back at some point. Like he's gonna play receiver, but I'm talking about the other little guy. Oh God. Not Swanson, but what's that little guy's name? I can't think of his name, but apparently they're high on him. Jason Witten's gone. I mean, I just don't see how that's gonna happen.
Help me out. Like I'm about to find out right now. Like, are you talking about someone they just picked up? Like,
no, he's been in the slot. He's always played slot. Let me see if I can find it. Cole Beasley.
There we go.
Cole Beasley.
Because you make it sound something worse.
I mean, Cole Beasley's supposed to be their Z receiver, all 5'8" of them.
Yep.
But I guess if Wes Welker could do it, I guess they feel as though Cole Beasley and Tavon Austin can do it as well. More power to him. But I don't know. It's something about this. I mean, I'm going to take this with a grain of salt. I feel like there was a little bit of haterade juice being poured during this meeting. The fact that the Ravens are, here you go, look out the window, make sure nobody's watching you.
Check outside and make sure. I think the Cowboys going to go 4-12.
4-12? I can understand why you would say that.
They're going to have that implosion. Like, they might get 6, but I don't see them getting 10.
I'll say I could see them going 7-9, and we finally see the end of the Jason Garrett era.
That is not going to happen for at least the next 4 years.
And then they'll never amount to anything. They're going to waste the youth of Dak and all of that. The whole offensive line is still pretty young. I mean, they're going to waste. They're just going to waste time. They're wasting time with Jason Garrett. I just don't believe he's got the it factor to get them to the next level. But talking about to getting players to the next level, did you read that John Gruden only came back so he could stick it to Tom Brady once or twice?
I thought that was hilarious.
I mean, amidst trading Khalil Mack, you tell the world, hey, I'm just here so I can get Tom Brady back as he's going out. Exactly. Kick it while he's there.
Man, talking about trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Not the Joneses.
And I don't mean cane sugar green apple soda, which is delicious. Pick it up at your local Albertsons or Market Street. But he's sounding really Rex Ryan right now.
He's pretty ridiculous. I didn't remember Chucky to be this bad. I mean, but this is looking more like
because you was winning championships with him.
Well, no, I mean, listen, we had our rough runs with him, you know, and it seems like he's doing the exact same thing that got him fired from Tampa. He's relying on old veterans to get him through. So I imagine he's going to bring in some older guys. I mean, you let Khalil Mack go for first round pick from 2019-20, third round pick from 2020, a sixth round pick for 2019. The Bears go on to give Khalil Mack $141 million. And then you come out and say, hey, I'm back because I remember what Tom Brady did to me. He ran me out of the league, which he really didn't, because after Tom Brady, that happened with Tom Brady, you went on to win the Super Bowl with the Bucs. But, I mean, come on. But my thing is, it's like, what in the world is he doing? And there was reports that he didn't even talk to Khalil Mack at all.
Nope.
Like, he didn't even speak with him.
Nope.
That's ridiculous. Khalil Mack got $90 million in guaranteed money. I want $90 million in guaranteed money as well.
I also want that much money.
Come on, Scott. You got this. Dig deep, Scott. Dig deep. But I don't know what's going on there. And just the fact that they're sitting at the ironic number of rank 24, the same number as Charles Woodson when he went to sack Tom Brady that caused the whole tuck rule.
Yep.
On your knee. But we'll see how that goes. I'm curious to see how this second stint with the Raiders goes.
About as well as you think it's going to be.
I'm going to say that he's going to have a rough time, but I think with the first round picks that they've gotten, I think even if they were to, let's say if they were to fire him next year, I think he's already set them up for somewhat of a promising future with the draft picks, to say the least. Because I think, you know, these next couple of drafts should be pretty good.
I agree.
But yeah, we're looking forward to football. I mean, it's going to be a great week. The power rankings are released. Definitely check them out on NFL.com. I got a chance to enter into one fantasy league at my job where, you know, I actually wound up going to H Mart, so I missed my draft, which is okay, I guess.
But that's acceptable though, because going to H Mart, I mean,
you already know
that pork belly.
Yes, I had of course the chili shrimp.
Yep, that was also good.
I think I had like a wrap also that was pretty good. It was delicious. All the food we had. It's funny because everybody on the table pretty much had chili shrimp, and it was amazing. It was an amazing sight. But I did get a chance to see my players, and it looks like my team, you know, we picked up, you know, Cam Newton. Looks like we got Saquon Barkley. So it didn't look like it was all lost. I feel like the computer really held me down and didn't tear down my old Space Mountain. So I was pretty happy about that. But, you know, we'll see. I mean, you know, everything's kind of won in the, you know, in the waiver wire. You know how it is. You're a champion. You're a fantasy champion.
I am.
You know, I mean, I got some good players, though. I mean, to have done a auto draft, Cam Newton, I got Stephon Diggs, Barkley, I got David Njoku, Chris Hogan. Who else we got down here? Sony Michel. I mean, I got some good players. I even got Alex Smith. Dunk down Alex.
Check down Alex.
The only player that I actually drafted this draft when I got home was Chris Godwin from the Bucks. He's the only person that I came home and drafted. If I'm being honest with you, I was like, well, let me run home and try to, let me go get this. Let me go get somebody from the Bucks because I got nothing. And I picked him up, but
well, hopefully someone picked up Jimmy Graham with him being in Green Bay now.
I didn't get a chance to really check. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like somebody did pick up Jimmy Graham. Like I said, I'm going to check the waiver wire probably, tomorrow morning. I'm going to go and look, make sure my team is all set for greatness. But speaking of greatness,
if you smell the Rockets game,
I do. I mean, last week on the greatest podcast in the world, Doc and Prof started talking about some WNBA.
We did.
Which they're getting way too much heat or lack thereof of actual TV time. Like, I mean, you told me before the show that not only are they in the playoffs, they just finished the conference finals, and they're going to the championship. And they go to the championship.
Yeah.
I didn't hear
not only that,
but
not only that, but the Western Conference Finals, that game 5, that do or die game. We're talking game 7. Highly intense. Like, this was must-see TV, ladies and gentlemen. Diana Taurasi has cemented her status as being one of the greatest women basketball players in the world. But Sue Bird is no scrub. And Breanna Stewart, I mean, there's a reason why she went number 1 coming out of UConn.
Hey, those UConn ladies.
I mean, even though, Diana Taurasi only scored 17 points, I mean, she showed the fire and the passion. Like, that, dare I say, was infinitely better than most of the playoffs in the NBA.
I can understand it, and I'm sure
not including game 1 for the finals, because that was the only close game that we was ever going to get.
But I mean, really, the only reason we talk
and
about
not including game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, because we all know.
Oh my God! Let me tell you how. Why you always talk about people cheating? Always talk about people cheating all the time. Now,
wait, what did I say about people cheating? Wait a minute. What did I say about people cheating?
Well, every time you mention this, I gotta go back to the robbery, the battery, the assault, and the collusion to assault. Because the referee stood there and watched it happen. This is premeditated assault. You understand what I'm saying here? So my thing is, don't bring that up because you knew it was assault out there.
Skip. We're not talking about that game. All I'm trying to do is use point of references on how certain games in the NBA playoffs was TAS. Wait.
I agree.
And we could both agree with that.
I agree. I can't agree with that.
I mean, heck, we enjoyed the game 7 for actually most of the Eastern Conference Finals. That was the first time we could say that we really enjoyed the Eastern Conference Finals in a long time.
I can agree with that. I mean, at least they made it look as though the Cavs weren't going to be the only team there. It made it look like, the Celtics or maybe the 76ers might be able to swing it.
We are still saying to this day that either the 76ers or the Celtics should have went out of the East.
Agreed.
But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the WNBA. And, just for reference, the Seattle Storm, and I don't mean Jack, defeated the Phoenix Mercury in Game 5 to advance to the WNBA Finals. So congrats to them. Like I said, I mean, Sue Bird in that fourth quarter, man, I mean, even though it was just highlights, like, we're talking someone who was just possessed with the Holy Spirit and was just bombing them. Like there was one sequence, and I gotta talk about this particular sequence. And
Please.
you know the old adage of, you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't piss on the wind.
Right.
Like you don't tug Sue Bird's mask. And after a little tie up on the ground, she's complaining to the ref like someone's pulling down her mask, someone's pulling down her mask. They show the replay, no one was doing it, but it lit that fire. And people like to talk about James Harden turning Super Saiyan and, Steph Curry turning Super Saiyan. Like, Sue Bird turned Super. It was like I watched Dragon Ball Super right now. Like, I'm just saying.
I feel you.
Because there's a female who is a Super Saiyan, just for point.
Okay.
I figured let you know that. But she was just bombing it. I mean, we're talking daggers upon daggers upon daggers. Like, she brought it up the court, and I was like, man, this feels like I'm right back at St. Peter's University watching these girls play because she is just ice cold. Killing it. It was an amazing game. Like, I actually want to watch the full game now. It was that good.
I could understand that, and again, I just wish that they were more. It was more, not just publicity, but just more hype about it. I mean, the NBA playoffs come on, and there's music videos, there's it's all kinds of stuff. I mean, but with this, it's like WNBA game. When is I didn't even know when the playoffs started. I didn't even know. The only reason I knew because you told me. That's the only reason I knew. If you didn't tell me, the season would have ended, and I would have been sitting there like, what? Like, when did that happen?
Which is crazy because, when the WNBA first started,
it was hot.
It was hot.
It was quite hot.
Like, it was, and it goes back to the analogy of things being so shining and new that everyone wants to be involved with it. But once that luster comes off, like, people kind of forget about it.
Because you think about it, it was like, I think the WNBA came out, and I think Love and Basketball came out shortly thereafter. It
was the perfect storm, and I don't mean Seattle Storm.
It was beautiful. Now it's just like, I feel like this is just an extension. And this is not like, my depiction, but I feel like they're treating this almost like the G League.
We're going to keep going with that one because I feel like we're about to have Helen run out of her office right now. So,
you disagree? Like, you don't feel like the NBA is treating this like, like Uncle Jimmy's nephew's been given this league and he's got to do something with it. Kind of like in a league of their own. The guys are off at war and you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is the same thing, but the guys aren't off at war. Like, these ladies are really playing basketball and they're trying to make a living doing this. Even in a league of their own. I would say
that the NBA has created the bad habit of just only focusing on one money-grabbing market, which is the NBA. Now, had they bring the same type of attention, because if you want to look at it as 100% scale, NBA probably gets 80, G League and developmental leagues, they probably get about 15, and WNBA gets about 5.
That's crazy.
Now, I feel like if they was to give the WNBA that 25%, it'll make so much of a difference. Actually, because I can even put a little slither for the 2K league as well to put like a 0.2% or something like that.
Right.
But like, had they bring more attention to the WNBA as time progresses, we wouldn't be having this problem right now. But the fact of the matter is we have this problem and we have to talk about this problem because,
absolutely,
the women of the WNBA who play this game, who put their lives on the line, leaving family just like the men, putting blood, sweat, tears onto the court for people every single night. they're fed up and they said enough is enough and it's time for a change.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because, again, as I mentioned earlier, I was watching LeBron James's The Shop over the weekend, and one of the guests on there was Candace Parker of the LA Sparks. And she said this, and I think LeBron was talking about how, he doesn't allow his daughter to say that she can't do anything. He's like, like you can do anything you want to do. It's like, don't say you can't do it. And Candace Parker said, you know what? I applaud you for treating your daughter that way and not treating her differently than the boys, treat her the same, make sure she grows up to be tough, because that's the way she wants to raise her daughter. Now, and talked with the salary, Candace Parker is, top 10 salary earner in the WNBA.
Yep.
But they don't make, they make a lot of money by our standards. Not by the NBA standards, by our standards.
Yes.
Meaning, our regular,
my shaking my head is agreeing with you. That I'm agreeing with you. Like.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure. I don't want Helen talking about $5 or anything like that. Cause I'm just saying, Helen, you know how it is. She makes $709,000, which for a basketball player, we always hear these big salaries, I think $709,000, that's so sad. It's a lot by our standards, but as a professional basketball player, and I don't know how much it would be if they went and played overseas, but
I think they probably get paid a lot more.
That just doesn't seem like a lot of money. It just doesn't seem like a lot of money. Let me see basketball.
Well, and it's funny that you mentioned that because, looking at Forbes and
right,
Sports Nation and all these other sites, and we're talking back in 2017, 2016, 2015, even 2014. Comparing these salaries, but the problem is, and we keep talking about it, the media only talks about things that's really going to make them money, and at those times, those kind of as much of an impact or carried enough weight for people to want to talk about it until today.
Again, and to be honest with you, is though when you look through those websites, it's kind of hard to even find the exact numbers. Like
nope.
I had to really dig in order to find this Forbes article. The top earning player, Sylvia Fowles.
Mm-hmm.
Not even $1 million, $991,000. And that's crazy. Unless somebody else just signed a new contract. This is as of yesterday. So this one says $991,000 Sylvia Fowles of the Minnesota Lynx, $991,669. And NBA players are getting paid so much more money. Do you think the NBA
players, forget that, the NBA refs get paid more than them?
This is true. That's true. I didn't think about that.
Let's just take the players out. The referees, them. Come on.
They get 100. Well, it depends. Well, I'm not sure because the average referee gets $150,000 per year. The average. Now, some of those big guys, I don't know.
Okay, and that's not counting those that referee during the playoffs and the finals.
True, and the ones that cheat.
There's a lot of referees that cheat. That's a long list. Let's not go down that rabbit hole today.
Specifically, when James Harden is attacking the basket.
I had a feeling I knew he was going to go there.
But yeah, this is kind of ridiculous. Just looking at it, they work hard, they play hard, and I wish that there was something that could be done about this. But I just don't think that there. We're going to see WNBA games. It probably would be more support for them getting paid more. But I think the way, and I guess the way it's set up right now, it's like people aren't really as much when they need to be.
No, I agree. And the first thing that will, make things better is they need to revise that CBA.
Agreed. And
they
CBA
need
always
to increase the take-home pay for the players. Like, we just literally had a lockout season back in 2012 for the NBA, where it allows people pretty much at the end of the bench to make over $1 billion something now. People who are basically scrubs getting $100 million max contracts. Harrison Barnes.
Don't you talk about Harrison Barnes.
Your favorite player in the whole wide world.
Oh,
but you get what I'm saying, though. Like, that's the first piece of the puzzle, is for whoever's the representative for the women's, Players Association needs to come up with a way to revise the CBA to allow these players to have a much bigger take-home pay. Because I think this is completely unfair. Like, I didn't know about this until a few months ago. And as I studied and read more and more of it, I see there's such a big shift in clarity. And it goes all the way back to the working force. I mean, once again, this is going Duke it out territory, so I'm not going to go too much into it.
Don't do it. Don't you do it. You mentioned it again. That means it must be coming back.
But, that's something that has been a big issue in our society for such a long time. The, contrast of pay for women versus men. And we're now seeing this now. And it's become much more exposed now because of the Me Too movement. But it's something that needs to get rectified, in my opinion.
But my thing also is, it's like, this is such a bigger discrepancy than like the regular pay wage gap. Like, this is huge, like really, really huge compared to maybe just a couple $1,000. We're talking about a couple $1 million, like millions.
MILLION.
Like, this is crazy, absolutely crazy. So, yeah, it's definitely something needs to be done in this situation. But yeah, it's definitely something that, again, we want to continue to talk about and push the narrative. I'm glad that, the Duchess of Duke It Out, which hopefully is going to air this Sunday, does continue to challenge us to talk about the WNBA, because it is important, that we engage in this conversation, because it's the sports as well. I know we talk about esports. I know we talk about a lot of different areas, but I think us touching on the WNBA is huge.
I agree. And I'm looking forward to talk about it a lot more. In fact, I'm looking forward to bringing the Duchess on to get her opinions on the matter. Do a little collaboration with that other show.
A little crossover before they come back.
Exactly.
Next week. I mean, she should be on right now.
Wow. We're just going to...
Just kidding. But wow. I think that's all we had.
Well, you was going to talk about a certain player who just got the starting job.
As a final thought.
In which we are at, ladies and gentlemen. So every single week, you saw what I did there?
I did.
So I segued that one?
Yeah, that's good. Chris
every single week, we provide you with our final thoughts for you to think about for the rest of the week. And we go one by one, and we talk about things that we feel are very important to elaborate towards you. So, just like always, we're going to start off with the Doc, the podcasting beast. What you got?
Hilarious. So, Tua of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Roll Down Tide, Tagovailoa, actually replaced Jalen Hurts this past weekend, which I'm surprised we didn't talk about college football from this past weekend, but it was so much. It was. I'll just say really quickly, Ohio State looked scary good. Young brother, little brother Bosa looked superb. And that offense didn't look like they knew the name Urban Meyer out there. Like they looked like they had never even had him as a coach. They took this time and said, we don't need no stinking coach. We're gonna go out here and play regardless. But they looked great.
It was very varsity blue-like.
It was. They looked great. Oklahoma looked great.
So what do you think about your coach, Urban Myers? Urban Meyer who?
Exactly. Take the statue down. But Oklahoma looked great. I know they were talking about how they were going to be without Baker Mayfield. I think it was just a pretty good week of college football. A lot of blowouts. But I think this one stood up because a lot of trolls online were actually messaging Jalen Hurts to transfer to their school. And that was pretty hilarious.
Well, that's because we see a lot of people transfer schools when they lose their starting jobs.
Yeah, but I think it was during the game, and that's what made it kind of funnier to me. But he's got to make a decision. I know he said he's going to go in there and try, and hopefully this doesn't hurt his confidence and he can bounce back from it.
I agree with that.
So, absolutely. So 2 days after my birthday last week, August 30th, I was laying in bed, probably 1, 2 in the morning. I think I got up, played a little 2K, and then I said, let me lay back down. I got to work in the morning, and I laid down, and my phone started buzzing as the Viper, Daryl Morey, who I'm going to call him the Viper now because I feel like he just signs and trades people out of nowhere.
Wow.
He actually struck a deal to get rid of Ryan Anderson and traded him away to the Phoenix Suns for Brandon Knight and Marquise Chris. Now, I was okay with that until I looked and saw that we traded DeAnthony Melton. So I was pretty upset with that. And then hoping that this doesn't become another Rudy Gay situation where DeAnthony Melton goes on to be a great player and we traded for, I know we traded for Shane Battier that year, but it's like,
but you like Shane Battier,
you could have.
But you ended up liking Shane Battier. Like I feel like you're saying these things, but like at the moment it happened, you were so excited, and as the person played for your team, you were so hyped. Bro. About it.
Now it's like now that I know better, it's like we're talking about getting 3 or 4 years out of Shane Battier as opposed to the 10 to 14 years or whatever amount of years Rudy Gay's been playing at a high level, and he's still playing at a high level. So I'm hoping and praying. I mean, I hope Anthony Melton does great, but I'm hoping that we don't come back. That trade doesn't come back to bite us. Marquise Chris, he was, a couple years ago. Obviously, Brandon Knight's a great player, but I'm hoping it was worth it just to unload Ryan Anderson. I hope it was worth it. That's all I can really say about that.
That's all I gotta say about that.
But yeah, those are my final thoughts. Actually, one more. Hard Knocks came to an end.
I was wondering if you're gonna talk about that.
God, come on, Chris. Damn it, Chris. All right, guys. Chris is just such a troll. So Carl Nassib, who some of you may know as the accounting philosophy personality, I guess, on Hard Knocks this past season with the Cleveland Browns, was cut surprisingly because the way the narrative was that it was either going to be him or the other guy, Nate Orchard. One of them are going to be cut, but the Browns wound up releasing both of them. So it's probably pretty interesting. And of course, Carl Nassib hit waivers, and not long after, here come the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just coming to pick him up and sign him. So I'm hoping that he can be that that guy that comes in and plays well on the other side of JPP. I mean, that's all I can really hope for. We released Will Clark, who's an okay pass rusher. He had 2 sacks last year, which is okay. Which was the sad part is that Will Clark had 2.5 sacks, and he was the highest amongst defensive ends.
Yes.
That's how bad it was last year. So I'm hoping that others can come in and provide a little bit more sacks this year. Now that is my last final thought. Before Chris pulls the plug on me again.
Pull that plug, Chris. Well, I mean, I know we talked on it, but here's some of the signings during the offseason that literally just happened this past week. Aaron Donald signed a $135 million contract extension for 6 years. That includes an $87 million contract extension, guaranteed money. Khalil Mack is now the highest paid defensive player in the league right now after being traded to the Bears, or should I say the Bears, and immediately signed an extension with them. Cowboys tight end Rico's Gathered was arrested for possession of marijuana and was promptly cut as well. Paxton Lynch was cut after Kevin Hogan went through the waves. And of course, Le'Veon Bell will not be playing in week 1 against the Browns. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. It's going to be just swell. In other news, my Yankees are still on top of the wild card in the AL race as we are getting close to the end of the regular season for baseball. In fact, not only are we still in the running for the playoffs, but we also acquired former NL MVP Andrew McCutchen from the San Francisco Giants this past week.
That's
actually pretty big news. We definitely need some more bats, especially with I mean, we're going through some times right now, man. I'm not gonna lie. Aaron Judge he's trying to work himself back into the lineup, so that's why we got Andrew McCutchen, and he's a big bat for us. He could definitely give us some runs, and his defensive skills out there in the outfield will definitely prove prominent for us.
Surprised they let him go, honestly.
Who, Andrew McCutchen?
Yeah, I was surprised that.
And with baseball, it's not like basketball where like, stars is stars and things like that. Like baseball, it's more of a long-term investment project when they do trades. So they do a lot of trading prospects, people out there in the developmental league, AAA, AA, things like that. So
right.
So like it's not like, oh my gosh, Andrew McCutchen for let's say Aaron Judge straight up. Like it's not like that.
Gotcha.
In baseball.
I got you.
Granted, I'm kind of glad they didn't do that. The Yankees are not the Knickerbockers. That's all I'm trying to say. And my last final thought, speaking of Knickerbockers, I had a chance to watch an interview between Kevin Knox, the ninth pick from this past NBA draft from my New York Knicks, and that pissant himself, the blasphemous swearing pissant, Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith, it's interesting with his interview style. And I say it's interesting because, like, he's kind of like a serpent. Like, he starts off just nicely slithering a straight line, and then he just starts making longer waves with it, and then he just coils, and then he just strikes. And I feel like the Kevin Knox, handled the interview very well. He answered a lot of the questions, quite open and honestly. Stephen A. Smith was asking him, like, are you ready for, what being a New York Knick is all about? Because the fan base is quite demanding, and, you have to have a certain chip on your shoulder, a certain backbone about you to be able to deal with things when things are getting rough, and I felt like he answered it. And one question that he answered kind of had Stephen A. Smith look at him sideways, and I kind of looked at him sideways too. Was he was like, well, what would you define as a successful season for you? And he said, well, winning 37 games. So Stephen A. Smith went, what?
Hey,
it's like, what do you mean 37 games? Like, and Kevin Knox so eloquently retorted saying, well, with 37 wins in the East, that's pretty much a guaranteed playoff spot. Versus with the West, you have to have at least 50. So in retrospect, thinking about it like that makes better sense. But Kevin Knox is also alluding to that he wants the team to make it to the playoffs. And the other thing, and this is the last part of this interview that I want to talk about, was when Stephen A. Smith asked him about, has he been communicating with Kristaps Porzingis? Yeah, Kristaps Porzingis, and trying to understand, like, are you having open communication? Like, you think you'd be able to play with him because KP is going to be out until All-Star break. So, well, no, I believe until Christmas.
He'll be out for a while. Let's just say a while.
He's out for a while. Like, it was a really nasty injury. And he was like, we talked about it, and Coach Fizdale wants him to lead this team, and that's one thing that we both said that we like about Fizdale. He's going to demand the most out of people on this squad. He came from that pop tree, and he wants to utilize the talent to his fullest. So I'm looking forward to seeing Kevin Knox distributing the ball, swishing and dishing, playing elite defenses as well too. I mean, and I'm looking to see what he's going to do. It makes me excited to watch the games whenever I can. But that was just my other final thought, something that was just really interesting for me to watch today.
And also I would say that I think it's going to be good for him to play without KP, in the beginning, in the interim, just to see, what he brings to the team. Like, I'm sure KP is looking like, all right, let's see what they got. I mean, it's not like they don't have, Enes Kanter. They're going to have Enes Kanter. They brought in Noah Vonleh, they got a plethora of guards. I mean, you guys are probably going to be running a quick team. So, we're going to see how it goes. I mean, let's wait and see how it goes.
I mean, I'm looking forward to. I mean, Kevin Knox sounds like he's hungry, and you got to be hungry, LeBron.
You do have to be
in
hungry
these type of situations, and he talked about how he needs to elevate his game coming from the collegiate stage to the NBA stage. Like, that stage is huge. Like, so many more eyes are on you, and he's really looking forward to the challenge. And I say that because that's a lot of the same things that Kristaps was saying when he came into the league. Everyone booing him, and you heard me say even on that draft night, and I said this, and it's on record. I said, give the kid a chance.
Absolutely,
and he did not disappoint. And I feel like I'm gonna go 2 for 2, 2-0 for these reads with Kevin Knox.
Hey, you got the reads, man. I know you got the reads.
But ladies and gentlemen, we are at Endgame. Tonight's track is brand new, hot off the presses. From Substantial, from his newest single, Exposition. And that's the name of the album, and also the name of the track as well too, Exposition Remix. Make sure you check it out on Bandcamp. We put all the descriptions right here on the YouTube video. Make sure you support our artists out there, as well as Croup Dog for having the most electrifying theme song in all of podcast.
He's really hooked us up. We're so blessed.
But make sure you check out their stuff. I mean, show some love to Substantial as well too. He's just out there grinding, not just with his music, but also with the grind, but also with his art as well too. He's definitely trying to do so much, and he's from that DMV area as well too. So he's always just hustling around, just trying to do even more, always trying to enlighten himself and enlighten others and inspire those around him. So once again, I mean, just give him a chance. We're going to play the track for you. I don't think you're going to hate it. In fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to download this track, buy the track on Bandcamp as soon as you hear it, because it's that good. But thank you very much for tuning into the Sports Podcast. Make sure you tune in every single Wednesday, actually. If you're thinking about marking out amongst friends, but they don't hide us. But every single Wednesday, even at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube. You can also check us out on many of our other podcast forums, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, or just now Google Podcasts, Player FM, Stitcher, and any and all podcast application on your iOS and Android devices.
Boom.
Once again, I am the Professor John Gotti.
And this is the podcast beast, Doc Lesnar.
And we'll catch you again next time. And like I always say, goodbye, good night, mwah, and goodbye. Bang!
Taste the ocean.
Remember, I am a true descendant of people who were stolen and traded for all the riches. But I can play the victim I'm told just to forget it while they dwell on 9/11 and celebrate independence. But I'm supposed to clear the memory of all the lynching. I cringe at the thought of giving my daughter weapons. Plus, I see the name that on my family every time I write a check. So how the f am I supposed to forget when we ain't safe in churches or even when we comply? The best way to protect us are making sure that we die. They say we kill ourselves, we still cheat and we rob. So when you do the same when you supposed to be on the job. And if you really care about the welfare of my people, make sure that the schools for all children were equal. Big competition, so they had to rig the game. Scared if we catch up, then we do they the same. No, they deserve it, but they ask, what would Jesus do? At my bottom dollar, he wouldn't be down with you. He was the wrong shade, you probably do him the same. Shoot him 7 times, but trying to give you his name right in front of his kids. Body him with the chrome, label the threat when all he tried to do was get him home. All I'm saying in the future, minus our past can never exist. Y'all make sure your babies listen to this and wake them up. A king, praise the slave. A king, praise the slave. Trailer, trade.